Amaka never imagined that her life would turn out this way, not because she thought she was special, but because she believed, like many women, that if she did the right things, life would arrange itself properly. She believed in education. She believed in marriage. She believed in hard work, prayer, and patience. She believed that endurance always leads to reward. She was born and raised in Nigeria, in a home where mornings began with prayers and evenings ended with stories about sacrifice. She learned early that women carried a lot: families, expectations, silence. She watched her mother hold the home together even when things were not easy. And somewhere in her heart, she assumed that strength would always be enough. When the opportunity to travel to Europe came, it felt like destiny calling her name. Europe was spoken of life like a promised land, a place where systems worked, where children had better schools, where effort produced results, where tomorrow felt more secure than today. Friends congratulated her. Family prayed for her. Some envied her quietly. She packed her bags with dreams heavier than her luggage. The first months abroad humbled her. The cold was different. The silence was louder. People were polite but distant. Her accent announced her before she spoke fully. Simple things, forms, appointments, transportation felt complicated. Still, she adjusted. She always did. She told herself what she had always been told: this is sacrifice. It will pay off. Marriage abroad was not what she expected. The pressures multiplied. Bills did not wait. Immigration stress crept into conversations. Loneliness magnified small misunderstandings. The support she thought would come did not arrive in the way she imagined. She found herself explaining, enduring, adjusting again. When the marriage ended, it felt like a quiet earthquake. There was no dramatic announcement, no crowd watching, but everything inside her shifted. She became a single mother of 2 children in a country that was still learning her name. She remembers the day it became real, not when papers were signed, but when she stood alone at a bus stop with 2 tired children and realized there was no one else coming to help. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46, verse 1. She repeated that verse many times, even on days she did not fully believe it. Single motherhood did not announce itself. It simply showed up in routines. Early mornings, school lunches, work schedules that clashed with school events, email from teachers, medical appointments, bills, so many bills. She learned how to stretch money without stretching herself completely thin. She learned how to smile in public and cry in private. She learned how to be tired and still show up. People back home thought Europe meant comfort. They did not see the nights she lay awake calculating expenses. They did not see her eating less so the children could eat more. They did not hear the quiet sigh she released when the children finally slept and the house became too quiet. Loneliness is heavier when you are responsible for other lives. Her children became her anchor and her mirror. They adapted faster than she did. Their accents softened. Their questions grew deeper. Why don't we have a daddy at home? Why are we different? She answered carefully, choosing honesty without bitterness. She refused to poison their hearts with her pain. She wanted them to know God, even in a world that did not pause for prayer. She taught them respect in a culture that encouraged independence early. She taught them roots while they grew wings. Parenting alone meant she had to be both gentle and firm, comforting and correcting, all at once. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Some days she doubted herself. Some nights she questioned her decisions. But every morning she rose again. Europe taught her something valuable. Survival required understanding the system. She stopped being afraid to ask questions. She learned how schools worked. She learned her rights. She learned how social services functioned. She learned that silence was expensive and information was power. Slowly, she became confident, not loud, but grounded. She also rediscovered herself. For a long time, her identity had been tied to roles: wife, mother, caretaker. Now she asks herself uncomfortable but necessary questions. What could she do? What skills did she have? What example was she setting for her children? She began to learn again, sometimes online, sometimes late at night, when the house was quiet, sometimes tired but determined. There were setbacks, moments when progress felt invisible, but there were also small victories, a stable routine, compliments from teachers about her children, a sense of emotional healing she could not explain but felt deeply. She began to laugh again, slowly, carefully. Her faith changed too. It became quieter, deeper, less about asking God to fix everything, more about asking for strength to face each day. She learned that faith did not always remove pain. Sometimes it gave meaning to endurance. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. Amaka's life did not become perfect, but it became real. It became steady. It became hers. She realized that being a single mother was not the end of her story. It was a chapter, yes, but not the conclusion. Her children were watching, learning resilience without lectures. They were learning courage by observation. They were learning that life could break you and still not defeat you. There are many women like Amaka, Nigerian women, African women, migrant women, women raising children far from home, far from familiar support, far from applause. Their strength is quiet. Their victories are private. Their stories are rarely told. But they matter. God will restore the years the locust has eaten. Joel chapter 2, verse 25. If you hear this story, and see yourself in it. Know this: you are not alone. You are not weak. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are becoming. And sometimes becoming is the bravest thing a woman will ever do.